Weddings Gone Wrong. AITA Bride Drama Compilation. AITA for refusing to pay the bride back for professional makeup? My friend since high school invited me to be a bridesmaid at her wedding. On the group chat with the other bridesmaids, she confirmed we could get our makeup done with a professional makeup artist for around $70 to $80, or we could do it ourselves. I confirmed I would be doing it myself, and only 2 of the 6 bridesmaids agreed to professional makeup. I have a small makeup collection but very curated. I do my makeup every time I go into work, so 2 to 3 times a week as I work hybrid. I did my makeup for other events such as weddings and fancy holiday parties, and the photos always turns out good. But when I went to the house of the bride to get ready, she made me open my makeup bag so she could inspect it. I showed her and she said there wasn't enough products in there and they looked used, so I didn't have what I needed to do what she wanted. I said I'd do what she was looking for every day, a soft matte face with neutral lipstick and shiny lid look. I showed her a photo of my daily makeup that I wear to work, and said I brought a eyeshadow pot that I would add as a topper and get me to the exact look she wanted. She told me she had told all the girls that were doing their own makeup to buy all new makeup, and I hadn't complied. She had on the group chat said not to use old makeup and to get new stuff, but I took that to mean not to use makeup that wouldn't work and not that she required brand new stuff for everything. None of my makeup was old and I know how it preformed. The formulas were still good. I insisted they were fine and she began to raise her voice saying it was her wedding and I was ruining it by not trying to look good on camera. I told her I didn't want to pay for the extra cost for makeup I could do myself, and she didn't say anything, just asked the makeup artist if they could fit me in last minute and they agreed. I saw the other girls doing makeup and they had huge makeup bags and I had a small one, but I don't believe it means they are using even close to all of the products. The makeup looked exactly like what I could do to myself. The makeup artist even used the eyeshadow pot I brought. I thought because I pointed out not wanting to pay for the cost and she didn't say anything she was paying for it. But I got a Venmo request for payment of the professional makeup. I called the bride and told her I didn't agree to it and she got mad and argued I got it done. The makeup was on my face, so I had to pay her back. I told her I could have done the exact look by myself, and she told me I had old makeup with ratchety brands which made her have no confidence they would look good. I'm shocked because at least half my makeup is from Sephora, and yes, I also use NYX and Essence, but they work just fine. I hung up and have been ignoring the Venmo reminders, but my BF thinks I should pay to keep the friendship. AITA for asking for an estimate of the bride's expenses that I'm expected to pay for on her Bach trip. I let the bride know 4 months before her bachelorette trip and 1 week before the final headcount deadline of who all was going on this trip that I wouldn't be able to go due to financial reasons. I got engaged 2 months after the bride did and wanted to save money for our elopement. The bride was incredibly upset and she told me that it wasn't about my reason for not going, it was about my timing of when I told her. Her wedding is actually set on a fast track as she got engaged in December of 2023 and is getting married November of 2024. She told me that I should have known this was coming up and I should have been saving for it. I also wanted to throw in that I never got an official ask to be a BM. I just got summoned by another BM to join a group chat called Bride Tribe, and that's how I found out I was chosen, so I never had the option to actually decline. Anyway, after disclosing my reasoning on why I couldn't go, she told me that as her BM she has certain expectations, and one of them is to attend the Bach, and I should have told her at her engagement party that I couldn't go. She didn't even know when her wedding date was during that time. Anyway, I asked her what her expectations were of me as a BM moving forward so we were on the same page. She said help throw and pay for her bridal shower, show up to rehearsal on time, and of course show up on the official wedding day. She said she was paying for hair and makeup and the BM dresses. I said okay, that's fine, I'm able to contribute to those things. Fast forward, I get a text from the group chat saying that since 4/5 of us are not able to go on this 4-day trip, it would only be fair and reasonable to pay for the bride's expenses. As the date of the Bach trip was approaching, I asked the Mo if she had an estimate on how much everything would be per person, and I needed to know because I wasn't sure what I would be able to contribute to the cost. She went off on me and also told me that it's not her job to figure that out for me, and I should have asked sooner, and she doesn't know the cost because the trip hasn't happened, and I should just be ready to pay after the fact, despite not knowing how much it'll be. She cried to the bride, who eventually called me and said that for the sake of our friendship, she is going to remove me as a bridesmaid since I have a lot going on and can't meet her expectations and she doesn't like to be disappointed. I am still, however, invited to the wedding. AITA? AITA for getting a wedding cancelled by sending a video to the bride. TLDR. I supplied my future aunt-in-law with proof that a cousin is talking shit about her, which caused one of the wedding celebrations to be cancelled. My uncle J28M is marrying Mel 26F. She's shy, so she never wanted a big wedding where she has to walk down the aisle, etc. She wants to elope with just him and her, and also have a traditional wedding from her country. He's completely cool with doing things how she wants it. But Jay's mom, Amanda, wants the typical wedding. Mel conceded that she was okay with having an additional third wedding where Amanda could do all the planning and Mel would veto anything she didn't like. Cost-wise, it's no issue because the other two weddings are essentially free. The problem started when Amanda was showing Mel the bridesmaid list. There were going to be 7 bridesmaids, and one of them was Jay's cousin Letty, 27F. Letty has been nothing but rude to Mel since the day they met. She constantly makes little digs at her, talks shit about her, and overall makes it clear that she does not like her. So Mel immediately vetoed it. Letty was in the room sitting with them during the veto and threw a fit, talking about how Mel is always rude to her. I can vouch for Mel and say that she never chooses to interact with Letty in any way, shape/form. What she does do is whenever Letty makes a snide comment, she makes a direct comment back in response. So to an outsider, it might seem like Mel is being hostile, but to everyone in the family, it's a roll your eyes moment where we know Letty is the asshole, and Mel just isn't taking it. Letty tried to claim that Mel has been holding a grudge based on the first week of them meeting, but then Mel pulled out a video that I sent her / of Letty talking shit about her just a couple of days ago. In it, Letty's calling her a bitch and saying stuff like she's not even that pretty, etc. Amanda sees this and immediately starts minimizing it, saying, "Oh, she didn't mean that," and so on. At this point, I think Mel has had enough because everyone in the family knows how Letty acts towards her, but they never take it seriously. They only slightly tell Letty off and are always trying to convince Mel to not take it to heart. So Mel says that she's sorry, but the wedding is off. She's still going to marry Jay in the other 2 originally planned ways, but she's not going to do Amanda's version anymore. She says this all nicely, as always, but Amanda is now crying, Letty's screaming at everyone, and other family members are saying that Mel should learn how to take a joke. Days later, I said I was the one who sent Mel the video and now a couple of family members are mad at me for getting involved. Was I the asshole here? Letty won't talk to me because I'm a snitch, but I don't even like her anyway. I'm just upset that I indirectly caused Amanda to be upset. AITA for telling the truth about how the bride looks. IF24 dabble in photography quite often, as for a career I design clothing and model it to save costs. So when my brother Jake M21 asked me to photograph his wedding, I of course agreed. My brother's wife, Chelsea 22, is a very kind woman. However, her stylistic choices can sometimes be a bit wild. I do not judge at all because I know innovation is part of self-expression. Chelsea showed me her wedding makeup, and she had these vibrant green contacts on. They looked extremely reptilian on her due to it not matching her undertone. When she showed me the picture, I told her she looked lovely, but that the contacts weren't the best. She seemed a bit offended, and told me she just wanted to look exotic like you. I offered to find her some more natural contacts, but she wouldn't relent. On her wedding day, as I took pictures, the contacts looked even worse, like a neon green light-up sign. When Jake was free for a moment, I showed him a few pictures. He called Chelsea over, and she seemed to be happy with the pictures, while Jake seemed a bit iffy. Chelsea asked what I thought, and I told her she looked stunning, but I then asked if she'd like me to edit the contrast a bit in the pictures. She then got extremely defensive, and accused me of calling her ugly on her own wedding day. Of course that was not my intention, but I left early to prevent a scene. Edits to answer some questions. The bride was not being racist with the exotic comment, English is her second language, I just look unconventional. I left the wedding at 1 a.m. instead of 3, they had lots of pictures taken by me. I asked her about the edits at the wedding itself as she wanted them posted ASAP on my account and hers. I didn't want her to receive rude comments from our relatives, my followers or anything like that, but I also didn't want her to be edited without consent. AITA for refusing to leave a wedding because I wore a dress that looks white under a black light. A few months ago I attended a close friend's wedding with my husband. I wore a yellow dress. Think like Belle and Beauty of the Beast yellow. Bumblebee yellow. So yellow that I did not question if it was appropriate or not to wear to a wedding, and neither did my friends nor family. I arrive at the wedding. We have the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the dinner and the reception. I get many compliments on the dress, and the bride even comments on how much she loves it several times. Towards the end of the reception, the venue dimmed the lights and turned on some black lights. These black lights made my dress appear more white than yellow. A member of the wedding party approached me while the black lights were on and stated that I needed to leave because my dress was white and inappropriate. I stated that the dress was yellow, but the black lights were making it appear white. The member of the wedding party stated that if I didn't leave she would make me. I stated I'm here to celebrate my friend, repeated that the dress was yellow, and said I will not be leaving early. Bride and groom hadn't left yet, and I came from overseas. The conversation, while heated, did not have raised voices or foul language from either side, but I will say it was tense. The wedding party member walked off and I watched as they immediately went to talk to the groom, angrily pointing in my direction. The groom shrugged and continued to dance. The next morning I was approached by a different friend at breakfast, not in the wedding party, who stated that they heard what happened and that I should have left when asked, because it made people uncomfortable, and that I made it about me partying rather than respecting wedding etiquette. I have felt incredibly embarrassed about this since. So am I the asshole for not leaving the wedding when asked? TLDR. Wore yellow dress that looked white under black lights. Was asked to leave by a member of the wedding party. Didn't leave. Told I made others uncomfortable by a friend the next day.